Alright, so today we're going to start in on our frontal view of this male model. First step is, again, draw your egg on the photocopy. Now, he doesn't have real long hair, so his egg basically goes all the way out to the edge of his hair. Draw a center axis, which goes through the middle of the nose bridge, through the middle of the nose tip, through the middle of the lips. So where that dip is, goes straight through. So you can see it's pretty much straight up and down. His head is a little bit tilted, so it goes a little diagonal. His eye line goes through his eyes, so this time they're pretty much straight across. Tip of the nose is also pretty much straight across, and the lip line, make sure it goes through the lips, so he's smiling a little bit, so it curves up a little. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to my paper and I'm going to draw my egg. I want my egg to be a fairly good size. I don't want a little tiny egg. Remember, we're not drawing it to the same size, so you have to draw it bigger. Draw lightly so that you can paint over it easily later. We are going to paint these. There's my egg. Now I'm going to draw my center axis, which it tilts just a little bit. It goes pretty much down the middle and it tilts a little bit, so I'm going to tilt it a little bit to make his head look like it tilts. His eye line, I'm going to measure. It's pretty close to half. It's just a little bit lower than half. I'm going to put a mark where I think about half is, and I'm going to measure. Okay, I've got half, so I need to drop it down a little bit. There we go, that's better. I'm going to use this mark right here, and it goes almost straight across with just a little bit of a tilt, because again, his head is tilted. Now I'm going to measure his nose from the eye line to the nose line, and from the nose line to the chin line. Okay, he's got a shorter nose than nose to chin. I can fit about 1.5 of his noses in from the bottom. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to put a mark where I think it's about right. I'm going to measure. There's the nose to the eyes to the nose. Now it's from the nose to the chin. So one. I got a little too low, so I'm going to raise it up a little bit. One. That's about 1.5. Yeah, that's about half. Okay, so that would be where my nose line goes, and it also slants just a little bit. That follows the same direction as the eye line. And now the lips. The lips. See how many of those lips I can fit in there. So there's from the nose to the lips. Now I can go 1.5 of those. Okay, so I'm going to put in a mark. And I'm going to measure and see if that's about right. So 1. I can get almost 2, so I have it up a little too high. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. 1. That's about 1.5. So that's about where my lips go. And remember, the lips have a little bit of a curve up. So that you actually get him looking like he's smiling. Okay, so there's my basic lines where everything goes. Now I'm going to start with the nose, drawing the nose. So, my nose. How many of these whips can I fit in across his face here, across his egg? 1, 2, about 3 from the center axis over. So I'm going to put a mark for his nose. I'm going to go 1, 2, it's a little too skinny. I got to make it a little bit wider. 1, 2, 3, that's closer. We'll go right there. The other side, let's see if it measures about the same for his nose width. They're about equal, so I'm going to do that same measurement for here. I'm going to go over here. So his nose has to fit between those two marks. So, the outside of his nose, we're just going to draw, we're not going to draw a pig nose, so it's going to go a curve out here, and the other curve out here. So his nostril like that, and his other nostril right in there like that. We're just doing some lines. Later on, when we get to shading and painting, then we'll get more details in there. Don't make him have really big nostrils, though. Look how his nostrils are. They're not round circles, so don't give him round circles for his nostrils. Now, his eyes. Let's see. If I draw from back here up, and from over here up, okay, his eyes are, so he's got kind of a wide nose, but his eyes are closer. So I'm going to draw from here up very lightly. I'm going to draw my dotted line up to there. And from here, I'm going to draw my dotted line. Now, here's my dotted line, and the corner of the eye starts in just a little bit. So I'm going to put my mark right here for the corner of that eye. And my other one, again, I have to move in some for the corner of that eye. So his nose fits there. So from corner of eye to corner of eye, I'm going to measure that, and then corner of eye to corner of eye, they're equal. Okay, so this measurement right here has to be this eye, and this eye. So my eyes are going to fit between this line and this line over on the left, and this line and this line on the right. Now I need to look at his eyes to see what kind of shape they are. So he has more space above than below that center line. So I'm going to draw his eyes. Starting at this mark on his left eye, it's going to come up above, has a little bit of a flat spot right there, and then it comes down. The bottom of his eye doesn't come down as low, has less space. There's that eye. Now his right eye. Again, I'm going to look and see what it does, because it's different than the other one actually. Kind of comes up and not quite as high. A little bit lower. It has a real flat spot there. And then underneath, down, something like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw the white space and the iris. So over here, comes way over here. And there's a little bit over here that shows. And over here, I've got a lot of white and a little bit of white over here. So I get a little bit of white here. A lot of white there. Okay, now I'm going to draw the crease of the eyelid. So up here he has a crease. So I'm going to move up a little bit, and I'm going to give him a crease of the eyelid over here. Same on the right side here. A little bit closer there, so I'm going to move it a little. Okay. Now, I'm going to draw his lips. I got to figure out where the corner of his lips are. Here's the corner of his lips. I draw a line up. That one goes about middle. And that corner goes to about middle of the eye. So from about middle of the eye over here on the right, I'm going to draw down. And from about the middle of the eye on the left, I'm going to do the same thing all the way down to the lip line. Make sure it follows the same direction as your center axis. It kind of tilts a little bit. So his lips are going to fit between here and here. So now I'm going to draw his lips in. He has a little bit of a dip there. Guys usually don't have as much of a dip as girls. And then the bottom lip, fairly smooth down there, curves back up. Okay, so far so good. Now let's get his ears in there. His ear over here goes up above the eye line, comes back down to the nose line. So it goes, starts on the skull a little bit, comes up, comes back down in here. Shorten that a little bit. And his other ear goes quite a bit above the eye line and then comes down to the ear line, the nose line. So it starts back here, comes out, earlobe, and his eyebrows, we're just going to draw a shape for his eyebrows. They start up here above the crease of the eye. I'm going to draw a shape for them. So about here. And on the other side. Back here. Now I'm going to draw the hairline in, so it comes in here, and around this way, oops, comes all the way down in front of the ear there, starts over here, all the way down to that eye line, a little bit past, then it goes back up. Come up here. Let's see, how much forehead does he need? One, two, a little over two. So 1, 2. Okay, I got it way too high. I'll bring his hairline down to about there. Bring his hairline way down. Brought it way too high up here. That's closer. Over here. Out and around. Down in front of his ear right here. And then it goes out just a little bit past the skull. He has pretty short hair, so it fits pretty close to the skull. Now I'm going to do the neck. So the neck, here's the lip line. I drop down a little bit, and it's almost a straight line for his neck right there. Here's the lip line. I'm going to drop down a little bit. I'm going to draw almost straight down for his neck right there. On the right, on the left, again, lip line down a little bit and draw a straight line. This one's shorter because it's covered more by the collar. The lip line, drop down a little bit. They should be about the same point. I'm going to draw a vertical line. Now I have to draw his collar. So it starts up here and wraps around there. Get this more in the picture here for you. So it starts up here and wraps around and comes down into there. And the other side, again, it starts back here and comes down into there. Ignore this writing down here. That's because I'm using a copywritten photo, which is okay for learning purposes. So there's the top of his collar. The rest of his collar comes down here. And then curves down this way. And then it has this piece right here where the tie goes. And then the other side, you go here, a little bit of an angle, and then it comes down. And actually curves out that way, it looks like a little bit. A little longer, come close to matching that. And then his shoulders. You get his shoulders in there. The shoulders come off of here. And just however much you can fit. And then back here. Starts up here, it comes back in here a little bit.